Hello, everyone, and welcome to American National Government. My name is Samantha Staggs, and I will be teaching you this class this semester. Okay, so I want to tell you guys a little bit about me first and foremost. My name is Sam Staggs, and my email address is sstaggs@uaptc.edu. That is by far the best way to contact me. You can also sign up for remind.com, which you will find on Blackboard under course content. That is where all of the course assignments will be located for the rest of the semester. And what remind.com does is you download an app and it will allow you to text me, and we won't be sharing any personal or private information. Okay, so I want to tell you a little bit about my office. It's in 442 in the Charts building, but all of this information you can also find on the syllabus. If you want to schedule office hours with me, just give me a text or email me, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about me before we get started. I graduated from UALR with a degree in history and a degree in anthropology. I went to grad school for history at the University of Mississippi, and my thesis dealt with the performance of race in imperial Africa. So I came home from that, and I went to law school at UALR Bowen, and I have taught here at UAPTC for 6 years as a full-time faculty member. And that hair was a really good hair day. I do not look like that all the time. I'm much more disheveled and stereotypically a absent-minded professor. Okay, so if you have no knowledge of American national government, that is not a problem. In fact, most Arkansans would, when polled, said that they really didn't feel comfortable with their knowledge of the way that our government functions, and there's a reason for that. In Arkansas, the year that you take civics is in the 9th grade. Now, most 9th graders, you may have been able to vote in 9th grade, I'm not judging you, but most 9th graders can't vote. Therefore, they're not really interested in the government when they actually learn about the government. So by the time they get to the 12th grade, which is when you should learn civics, they're almost 18, some of them are 18, and they don't really care about the government enough to vote. However, that trend is definitely changing in this last 5 years. More and more people under the age of 25 are voting than ever before. But to make a long story short, if you feel lost in this class, you're not alone. These are a lot of concepts that you probably haven't heard in years, or maybe you've heard of them, but you don't know what they mean. In this class, you're going to learn the foundations of our government. Now, you might be saying to yourself, I know all about politics and I know where I stand politically, I know which political party I'm in, and that's fantastic, but you still need this foundation in order to make informed decisions. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the themes of this class. One of the themes are the constant conflict between liberty and security. So on the one hand, Americans, we want liberty, right? We want to be able to live our lives with very little, I'm trying to think of the word, very little interaction with the government, right? We don't want the government to come into our lives. We don't want them to I can't think of that word. I don't want them to influence our decisions, and we want to really live our lives in the best way that we can with no interference. That's the word I'm looking for. With no government interference. And we also don't want other people to interfere with our lives. And that's where security comes in, right? If you look on the left side, we have this picture of TSA, right? Those are the folks that pat you down in the airport, right? Nobody likes that. No one likes to have to go through that screen where they x-ray you. No one likes that at all. However, if that doesn't exist, then our security is sort of called into question, right? Because on the other hand, we also value security, right? So we love our liberty, we like our freedom, democracy. On the other hand, we also like security, right? And democracy is a constant balance between liberty and security, right? because we also want to know that when we wake up in the morning that we're protected, right? We want to know that if there is a shooting in our school, for example, that there will be police officers that come and take care of us, right? So we like security and we like liberty, and they come into conflict so much. Let me just think of an example here. What about cell phones? Right, so there was a case that recently came before the Supreme Court that dealt with whether or not police officers can search your cell phone without a warrant. Right? On the one hand, I like having the liberty to say no. You can't search my property. You can't search my phone without a warrant. On the other hand, I like the idea that police officers could look through someone's phone and potentially find child porn and arrest them. Right? So that's where my ideas about liberty come in conflict about my personal ideas about security. But this is really the foundation of the United States. Because like I said, the Supreme Court recently heard a case dealing with that. And what the plaintiffs said was, they said, look, the United States can't search my phone without a warrant because that's my personal property. And the defense said, look, we have to have access to that information. That information led us to many arrests dealing with breaking into cars. Right? So again, liberty and safety come into conflict quite a bit. And so this is a theme that you'll see come up over and over again. Because what happens when liberty and security come into conflict? What happens when there's too much security or there's too much safety and not enough liberty? Right? And what we get is Ferguson. Right? Ferguson was really a boiling point in democracy, right? Between liberty and between safety. And so again, these are themes that we're going to talk about over and over again. And I hope that you really enjoy this class. So by the end of the semester, you're going to learn some useful stuff. So first and foremost, you're going to learn which political party you're part of. And if you already know, you might be shocked to find out that you're in fact not a Republican or a Democrat. Or your whole family might be Republicans and you find that you're a Democrat. Or your whole family's Democrats, but you find out that you're actually a Republican. Right? You're also going to learn about what that political party stands for. What are the ideas behind that political party? Also, how the government functions in general, right? What is Congress? What do the House of Representatives? What does the Senate do? And what is the government shutdown anyway, this one that we're in? And what's the Electoral College? You're going to learn who your representatives are, what a representative democracy is. You're going to learn all of your rights. So you're going to learn why we have the First, Second, Third, Fourth, and Fifth Amendments to the Constitution, and Sixth, Seventh, Eighth, and ninth and 10th. And we're going to learn about civil rights as well. So I hope that even if you're not interested in the government, I hope that you get something out of this class. And I am available if you are not getting anything from this class and would like to discuss that with me. So thank you very much. Sorry, this is my first time doing this lecture capture, so I hope to get better at it as time goes on. Have a fantastic week.